Eustace's help.
Cardinal Loan Manager Justice Adamavicius.
There's no annual cost, there's no maintenance fees, there's no balance transfer fee.
I went to other banks and they didn't look at me the way he did and give me a chance. He asked me what I'm doing in life, what I'm going to school for.
We are helping people, not judging them.
Cardinal Credit Union. Everything to brighten your financial future. Just call Cardinal at 440-266-2200. Stop in a branch or apply online at cardinalcu.com. Cardinal President Christine Blake.
Listening to your story, saving you money, anyone can join. Cardinal. People helping people.
Cardinal is open to anyone who lives, works, worships, or attends school in Lake Cuyahoga, Geauga, Ashtabula, Portage, Summit, Mahoning, Trumbull, or Columbiana counties. This institution is not federally insured. Deposits are insured by American Share Insurance up to $250,000 per account. Loans subject to credit approval.
Here comes Anna Williams. Williams over to Brianna Williams. Williams finds some daylight, kicks over to Cannon. Cannon puts it up. Missed it, rebound. Carrie Morin puts it up. It's good. Again, Carrie Morin. It is alive and well. Carrie Morin here at Lakeland Community College.
Cruz bump, smart set. Morin the spike. And
that had some English on there.
Yep, Morin with a lovely kill there.
You're listening to Lakeland's Lake Effect Radio, the official home of Lakeland Sports.
Join us on the last Wednesday of each month, 6 to 7 p.m. for Holding University Center Nights. It's an informative program designed for students interested in pursuing their bachelor's or graduate degrees at Holding University Center. This general session will introduce our partnerships and programs available through Holding University Center. You will hear about the state-of-the-art learning environment as well the next steps to help you on your way to enroll. A tour will be available for those that are interested. The programs will take place at the Holding University Center. If interested in attending, please register at lakelandcc.edu/UC.
Teaching Learning Center and Campus Kids Family Resource Center. Services include educational lending kits, children hearing tests, children vision screenings, multilingual support, prenatal care, guest speakers, educational workshops, and connecting families with community resources.
Hey there, this is Cleveland Gary Lee, and you are listening to Lakeland's Lake Effect Radio.
Lake Effect Radio hit Lakeland in 1972, hasn't stopped rocking around the clock tower to this day with broadcasting on campus and online. Keep listening, Breakers, and live at lakeeffectradio.org/studio.
Are you dreaming of something greater? A college degree, better job skills, a rewarding career? The Ohio Army National Guard can help you get the education you need to land the career you've always wanted. The Ohio National Guard Scholarship Program could pay 100% of your college tuition at Lakeland Community College. You're eligible for the scholarship as soon as you enlist, and you can attend school while serving right here in Northeast Ohio. Learn more about these great benefits by calling Staff Sergeant Danielle Davis at 440-225-3720 today. Call 440-225-3720 and go Guard.
Jonathan is a student who depends on his Cardinal Visa credit card.
This is my Visa card. I got it from Cardinal Credit Union with Eustace's help.
Cardinal Loan Manager Justice Adamavicius.
There's no annual cost, there's no maintenance fees, there's no balance transfer fee.
I went to other banks and they didn't look at me the way he did and give me a chance. He asked me what I'm doing in life, what I'm going to school for.
We are helping people, not judging them.
Cardinal Credit Union. Everything to brighten your financial future. Just call Cardinal at 440-266-2200. Stop in a branch or apply online at cardinalcu.com. Cardinal President Christine Blake.
Listening to your story, saving you money, anyone can join. Cardinal. People helping people.
Cardinal is open to anyone who lives, works, worships, or attends school in Lake Cuyahoga, Geauga, Ashtabula, Portage, Summit, Mahoning, Trumbull, or Columbiana counties. This institution is not federally insured. Deposits are insured by American Share Insurance up to $250,000 per account. Loans subject to credit approval.
The Center for International Education invites you to a discussion of Dante's Inferno on Wednesday, October 9th at 1 p.m. with Dr. Kristen Stasiowski in room A2100.
Lakeland Community College Library. Writing Center tutor in the library. Walk-in help is available, free and no appointment necessary. Stop by the library for current hours. This service is provided by the partnership between the Lakeland Library and Learning Center. For more information about tutoring or the Lakeland Learning Center, call 440-525-7019.
It's a local music spotlight on Lake Effect Radio. Brilliant Night and Bush.
place for your pressure, no. Cool down someone, cool now, please me. Cool now, sinner, cool down love. Cool now, someone, cool now, please me. Cool now, sinner, cool down love. Cool now, someone, cool now, please me. Cool now, sinner, cool down love. Sometimes I want you close, sometimes I want my space. Just know I'm gonna call if I need you. It's not my job to please you, no. Never been your average girl, so take time with me, take time. Baby, talk to me with some action. Think I got a place for your passion, no. Cool down someone, cool now, please me. Cool now, sinner, cool down love. Cool now, someone, cool now, please me. Cool now, someone. Boy, you make it too hard for me to stay here. Boy, you're making it hard for me to be your love. So cool down, someone.
Baby, make me tell you this. I won't waste no time, I'll be proceeding quick. The way you're moving lately got me feeling sick. Like say you forgot to know you're dealing with. Man, I real break when I'm at work non-stop. You not good, no dinner when I come back. Something wrong with you, come out from that. If me walk and leave you, I may not come back.
You're falling, but you don't wanna fall too hard. You're falling, but you don't wanna fall apart. 'Cause it might break if I give you my heart and you hold on too hard. So cool down, someone. Cool down, someone. Cool now, please me. Cool now, sinner. Cool down, love. Cool now, someone. Cool now, please me. Cool now, someone. Boy, you make it too hard for me to stay here. Boy, you're making it hard for me to be your love. Fitting in your vibe and you'll be styling out too quickly. Man, it's just the way you do it when you move so swiftly. Vibing out to you and making me do you, man. Smoking out the way I feel emotion, so good, it's so bad, it's so bad, it's so new. I'm wishing at the end of June. Closing my shroud in my vision, go clearly. Can't see ahead if I'm fine when I leave me. What is the saying when you should let go? What is so impossible? Do me like that with a smile, with a smack, with a you know me, no, you know me better.
Let's take our time tonight, girl. Above us, all the stars are watching. There's no place I'd rather be in this world. Your eyes are where I'm lost in. Underneath
Say yeah. Welcome to Lake Effect Radio Station. It's me, DJ OPM. Yeah, the fun to bring. Yeah. Every day when I wake up, good eggs and some milk. Breakfast for me, mine. When I bum, when he grind. Yeah, freestyle on the beat. I got Matt Murray in the building. We about to just have a conversation. Yeah. And I'm gonna give you my good news of the day. I gotta do that. So I'm gonna give you the good word of the day first before I give you the good news. Hey. Young Matt.
What's going on?
We got young Matt Murray, the former director of the Pathfinders program, Pathfinders coordinator in here. Coming in here to talk about just some real life talk, some class school discussions. Cause I know school hard and sometimes we need some insight on how to get these classes taken care of without stressing ourselves out.
Yeah.
What you think about that, Matt? So, man, introduce yourself real quick for me. Let everybody know who you are and what you into and what you want to achieve, what kind of footprint you want to leave in the sand. Yeah.
My name is Matt, program coordinator of the Pathfinders program, associated with the Men's Center here. And basically, just want to pave a way of legacy to providing resources in the mental health department. So, creating a way so that people can receive, restoration in their mind and body and soul. And so that's basically what I'm here to do is become a psychologist to help people in gaining healing of childhood traumas and things of that nature. So
Right. With childhood trauma, while we talking about childhood trauma, I'm definitely one of the guys that's gonna be pioneering the way for toxic stress development resiliency programs. I'm gonna start right here at this college and move forward, but it's kind of interesting that me and you we have some similar passions, you know what I mean? And what about early childhood trauma do you think is important? Why do you think that's something that we need to focus on? Amidst all the different things that we can spend our energy on, why is it important for us to focus on early childhood and specifically trauma?
Well, it teaches you about how to overcome life, period. Childhood traumas, trauma doesn't just stop at or begin at childhood. It can happen, in your 20s or 35 years old. I mean, trauma can, it's more broader than what we think. So when we think of childhood trauma, we think about molestation or, being sexually abused or being verbally abused. But, let's say in you're 50 and someone is trying to, kill you, or, someone threatens to blow up your house, or, you have all these kind of traumas, or let's say your friend blew up in a car,
right?
Things like that. So having resources to help people overcome those overcome life traumas.
Right. So you want to deal with lifespan development trauma issues. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
Well, let me make sure I clarify what I specifically want to do is early childhood development.
Okay.
So let's talk about lifespan development. Then we might be able to talk about some of the things that I'm interested in. But since you in here, I want to talk about lifespan development. So why do you think that's important? What is it? Who cares whether this person's 50-year-old, somebody tried to kill him? They about to die in 30 years anyway.
Yeah, I think it's important because it life is precious, and when you to define who you are, to I think of overcoming things as a newer, finding information to you develop a more sense of who you are when you overcome things like that. You know, it's kind of like a development in you,
right.
You know, overcoming things of that nature.
But why do you want to develop somebody that's old and about to die?
You know,
because you already answered some of it. You said that life is precious, but I mean, what do you think that those people can offer? Like, what can we offer in adulthood that's worth us pouring energy and resources and research and development? Because we got corporations, like even our local community college, even the college we go to, you know, some shortcomings happen, you know what I mean? Attendance is low. Guess what? Things gonna get cut.
I think saving someone is like saving a new invention. You know, let's say we all are creative and inventive, and so when you're saving someone, you open up an opportunity to experience life a way that they have to provide. You know,
it ain't over till it's over, basically.
Right, it ain't over. I'm trying to explain it, but yeah, it's not over till it's over, and I definitely don't want to see anyone go before their time.
No being left behind.
Right.
No person left behind. So that's Matt Murray. He wants no person to be left behind, and I do too, man. I feel like what you're saying is important, but how did you get aware to that issue? Because people go through life every day and think that everybody's just as happy and free as they are.
Well, you just have to. I just learned that you have to fight for your happiness, and you have to. Happiness is self-maintenance.
You good?
Yeah, happiness requires self-maintenance, and you kind of have to keep meditating on good thoughts and positive thoughts and truths.
So hold on. What's some good thoughts? What is an example of a good thought or a positive and a true thought?
A positive thought is, you know, telling yourself that you are an overcomer. So let's say you're dealing with, let's say, fear. You know, fear stems from a past experience. So let's just say you may suffer from a disappointment, like you thought a job was going to come through and it didn't. So now your rent is due and you don't know what to do.
Right. What about things even more subtler than that? For example,
like studying.
Like studying too.
Procrastination.
But I'm talking about even as far as like a relationship between the parent and the child, or like say you in a relationship with somebody and you have expectations, because we all carry expectations. And say you expecting your sweetie poo to come home and kiss you and rub your feet and you know how you doing this and that, and they might be in a bad mood. They don't say none of that. How do you react in those kind of situations, and like, can that stress a person out?
Well, you could. Cause that's
like rejection, you think those type of stresses count, or is that nothing?
You have to recess the way your perspective, because of how your perception on love or administering love is not always true to the other person.
Right.
So you just kind of have to focus. You just have to retrain the way you think so that you don't go into that state of anger and bitterness because over something that is not necessarily true, and assumptions. Like, you never want to assume. Never assume.
Never assume, huh?
Yeah, cause the way you think is not always true. You know what I mean? So you just have to, like, if someone is trying to bring negativity into how you feel, you know that's not of God, and you know that's not really in your relationship. It's just your false sense of things that failed in the past, and so you're trying to protect yourself.
Yeah. You know what's so funny, man? Because the reason I'm asking these interesting questions is because I was watching a movie the other day. You ever seen Precious?
Yeah.
So Precious is a movie, if any of you guys never seen it. It's a great movie. Go ahead and watch it. It's by Monique. Like, it's featuring Monique, the actor. And I think it was the first time that, I forgot the young lady's name. She has a eccentric name. But she played in the movie Precious. Pretty sure you Google it, it's going to pop up. And it was just a traumatic experience for a young woman. And the movie was based upon this character and some things that she went through, and just, you know, a outer experience, like seeing her mother and how she treated the family and things like that. So what I'm trying to get to is, like, when you visualizing somebody going through a stressful situation, and even if it happens as a child, like the way that Monique was portraying that image to her daughter is like a generational thing that keeps happening because there's no knowledge of it. So the reason I'm asking these questions is because I feel like we have to know why. I like to know why, you know what I mean? Like, why is it important that we tackle, you know, stress, period? You know what I mean? What is considered stress? You know what I mean? Not only how do we respond to stress, but the way that we allow it, like, it's a threshold to where, you know, our stress.
Yeah, it's like good stress and bad stress. There's good fear and bad fear. So stress, like you're talking about, stress is if stress is not, if it's taking away your dignity, if it's anything that's taken away from your mission, and just to say you get up and exercise and you're so stressed out because you know, if stress is taking away your motivation, if fear is taking away your motivation, then, you know, how to overcome that is
conditioning. Listen,
conditioning your mind. Yeah.
So the reason I was talking about these visual images is because I was watching the movie yesterday, and it kind of, like, I had some projected false expectations appearing real, because that's what fear is. It's just a false expectation appearing real, y'all. And I was sitting there watching the movie, and there was a part to me, like the movie Precious, because I can relate to some of those scenes in that movie.
Right.
But I was sitting here watching this movie, and some of my childhood things had came up when I'm watching the movie, and I'm expecting these characters to act this way. And it's like sometimes we can project, even in our adulthood life, we project our fears and our insecurities on other people, and the media and the visuals and the things that we are fed into our mind and the things that we allow to be around us. You know what I mean? You can just look into your phone, grab somebody's phone, and just push the square and see what they've been looking at recently. Look at their history, look at the people in their contacts. You know, the people around you can stress you out or they can encourage you. And I think in adulthood, what'll help us out about how to release it and get rid of stress is teaching each other how to be resilient. You know, talking about and confessing the things that we've been through that might be embarrassing to us in the closet. You know, those closet issues that people don't talk about. Like, you know, when you really leave school and you take off the makeup in your clothes, then you're sitting there naked with your thoughts, and you got to figure out, how am I going to keep moving on? Because I don't know for some people out there, but for me, every day I wake up, it takes encouragement of myself to step out that door.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just making my bed up and brushing my teeth in my face and telling myself, you know what, you're going to be amazing today. And I got some family and some people that support me and tell me, like, you know, you're going to be amazing, have a great day. But does that mean you're going to have a great day? You might get to school and find out that you missed a project, or, you know, you missed an assignment. And, like, that might send you into a depression. There's been times I'd have missed an assignment, or I'll be procrastinated to the last minute on the assignment, and I create so much anxiety for myself that I shut down. And that's why I feel like it's important for toxic stress, because you got students that shutting down. We got a whole free learning center with these tutors that got master's degrees. You know what I mean? These people got bachelor's and, you know, degrees and multiple degrees in fields and things that can help us, but we show our pride. And then we give up, and then the school get less money, and then guess what? The students get less resources. They don't have a chance to build a culture here. Now, how does that affect toxic stress? Because this is a small unit, we all individuals, but once we come together in a school or institution, it's just like in Greece or Africa. Those people came together in those different arenas. It wasn't for entertainment. They were sitting there sharing ideas. When the internet first came out, I don't know if people were familiar, but when the internet first, you know, was being developed in the early 90s, and it was an information access. Like, we could go there and share information, and nobody thought like, oh, you would have to go online and pay for anything, because it was just it was set up so we can learn from each other.
Right.
But now it's monetized, and we stress ourselves out over that. But we can use those tools and we can teach each other, because even though we individual people, we all global. You know what I'm saying? We all set in a universal DNA structure, not physically, but metaphorically. You know what I mean? And we basically, what I'm trying to say is, we a stress nation. We a stress nation, and when you think about stress and you think about childhood and late adulthood development, how are we going to better our economy? How are we going to better our academic institutions? How are we going to get rid of these drugs, this poisonous drugs that's making our grandparents and our families addicted to substances? And what are the alternatives to that? And that's why we got young people like you that's going to come out, become doctors and professors, and teach people how to become strong, resilient people.
Right. And and one of the things is just noticing the times of those disturbing thoughts that's creating procrastination. So like, let's say a teacher give you an assignment, so she'll give it to you today, and so we're worrying about failing, or you worry about not getting the ideal or the concept of the assignment, so you spend all the time worrying. For at least you're gonna spend like 6 days worrying.
Right. Well, what is worrying? What?
Worrying is like one idea repeating continually, buffering, blocking
buffering.
Blocking your understanding from because you can't think. When you're worried, you can't think. So the best thing is to go into a quiet place and just meditate.
Right.
Definitely meditate to break that cycle.
So that's what I'm saying. There's so much different questions that a person has, and I don't mean to keep cutting you off, but honestly, I'm not gonna say how old I am. I'm forever young, but for many years, I've been trying to learn how to meditate. And some people tell me like it's just quieting your thoughts. When you talking to a man that wake up, you know what I mean, like with the whole world on his shoulders, and he thinking all the details, it's hard to quiet every single voice. Like, I'll just give you 3 examples. You might have one conversation in your head, like, okay, I'm gonna be more diligent about my time. And then you might got something else saying, okay, I got some stuff to do around the house, some repairs. And then you got another thing saying, okay, this homework due tomorrow. So out of those things, when you're trying to meditate and quiet those sounds, how do you like hear them and just, what is the meditating structure for you?
Thinking that prayer, people have different beliefs systems, but just for me, praying and just allowing God's presence to flow through me throughout that day.
Right.
And just kind of like relax, and I think that learning...
He said relax.
Yeah, because he gives you peace.
We're such in a busy world, I don't even think that. Man, I be sitting here watching people like...
I mean, look at Dr. Oz. We have the same 24 hours in a day. He has a talk show, and he still performs, and does his...
Oh, he does surgery too?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
He's still a doctor, but...
Dang, shouts out to Dr. Oz. Much love for him and his... hand and everything,
but he has time. We have the same time. Balance.
Finding the time to meditate.
So that, because meditating, what it does is feed your desire.
Yeah.
Because it puts whatever you love a priority. So that way that gives you inspiration to continue to go on.
Well, see, the thing
to
that's
overcome those negative.
Right. To overcome the negative experiences that we have in our life.
Right.
And I think one of the key things to helping us overcome some of those negative things is addressing them during meditation.
Absolutely, yeah. You need someone to talk to, and to get out and to be vulnerable, because we're so used to, especially men, so used to suppressing a lot of emotions, and so.
Vulnerability.
Yeah, being vulnerable, and that's what meditation gives you. It still hurts me
to tell a grown man I love him.
Yeah, and that's social conditioning too. Social
it
conditioning.
It is, and actually for us, because I was watching some history. I ended up getting the ancestry thing, which I don't know if that stuff is real. I'm not going to promote that on my show for real, but I did it, and a couple of my family members, and we got the same percentage, even some of the people that wasn't related to me, which I don't know if they got a formula for this.
Mhm.
But I found out a lot of my family is from, the continent of Africa, and then different other interesting things that I'll talk about at a different time. But when I researched those areas, I seen that the men had a different congeniality, like the way they looked at relationships amongst the men. They were warriors, they were fighters, they were, the husbands and everything and the fathers, but they were brothers, you know what I mean? There was a camaraderie, and even some of the men was holding hands. And then even in some of the cultures, these men had like beauty contests where they was putting on makeup and they got this long hair and opulent pearls and stuff. And I'm like, if we did it over here, we definitely would be called gay, you know what I mean? And I'm like, why can't we be able to express? How come it has to be? Because that's stressful for me. I mean, even though I'm not going to ever put on no dress or do nothing like that, and nothing against anybody who does, but I just prefer comfortable slacks and a shirt. I'm just used to at least 2 pieces of clothing on me.
Right.
And I like it a certain way. But, like, how can we keep from being stressed just about how we dress? Is that an even important thing? Like, those type of little stresses. Our appearance stresses.
Yes, because just like someone, hard on themselves because they gained weight or lost, gained weight or whatever, and they feel like they should have been more eating right, and if they manage things in their life, then it could be better.
Right.
But
well, can it be better? Heck, could it be genetics? Why do we have to worry about what we look like? If I'm fat, I'm sorry, y'all, I'm fat, but I'm gonna be one big fat fly person. And that's just what's gonna be, because you know what, at the end of the day, I'm gonna have to get comfortable with them rolls when I'm laying down trying to adjust my belly. But does that matter though? I mean, it should matter for our own health, but
it shouldn't matter. I think that do what you love to do. Do the things that is in your heart. Of how you want to live. Like if you're eating a lot, in a way that consciously that you don't eat like that, ask yourself, like, what am I going through? What am I, discuss it during meditation.
Right. What's making me do this?
Yeah,
so now you get into the psychology of diagnosing things. He talking about, looking at the symptoms and figuring out what's happening relative to what you're going through.
Right.
You know what? That's funny that you said that. So sometimes, we need to self-diagnose ourselves. And what you just said was like, we got to be aware of what the things that set us off, those triggers.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I know I'm about to put this outfit on, it's going to make me look like a clown, and I'm antisocial and insecure about people looking at me,
right,
I'm not going to put that on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try to stay low-key. But then if I'm staying low-key, I don't feel like I'm expressing the person who I'm supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. So you stuck in between.
Yeah, how do you find that balance and to keep yourself from stressing? Because that's another area of stress. That could stress somebody out so bad they might not want to come out the house.
But that's a negative perception of yourself.
You think so?
Yeah.
Negative self-imagery?
Because when someone talks about you, their comments shouldn't matter.
They shouldn't.
It shouldn't matter. Like, if it's talking about, oh, look at your shoes, they too yellow, I don't like stuff like that. Right. Well, I didn't wear it for you.
Well, that's what they doing. These kids out here talking about what they got on.
Right.
You would get roasted. If you in the Cuyahoga Lake County area, man, shoot, clothes matter out here.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I mean? Your image matter too. And that's why I'm saying, like, I'm basically getting to the stress that these kids are going through and us as adults.
True.
Even if we're here professionally, you think some of these women and guys ain't trying to, they trying to put their peacock on, but you only got so much money, you can't go buy a new wardrobe every day just to keep up with your workers.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I come in here dressed in whatever I can find.
Yeah.
And I think that.
Well, what gives you the peace to do that?
What gives me the peace to do that? When I was young, my Uncle William, rest in peace, he used to raise me up. And he would raise me up with encouraging words and different things. And one of the things he told me was that don't ever worry about food or what you're going to eat or the clothes that you're going to wear. Look at King Solomon. He was one of the smartest, wisest kings of all times. But even the lilies in the field was dressed better than him. And I went outside and I looked at the grass and I seen some lilies and stuff. I'm like, man, if that's dressed better than King Solomon, I don't never gotta worry about clothes. I don't. And when you got Gabe's and Burlington, you really ain't gotta worry about clothes. For real, man. But my piece is that I'm so confident of who I am inside to a degree that it's not the clothes. My weaknesses and my things that bother me is like, oh, can this person see the fear inside of me? I'm more worried about like, oh, can this person see that I might not be able to tackle this as I'm expected to do it? It's gonna have my twist on it, but is that good enough for this teacher? You know what I mean? Like if I'm gonna put it in the student perspective.
And that's the difference between, and I'm glad that that's the difference between college and high school, or because in high school you just did stuff that was pleasing to the teacher.
That's it.
Now it's about your future. So when you say like, is it pleasing to her, just change your perspective, and it's like, this is really about life. Like this is the structure of how to correctly provide an argument, or what this is the correct way of how I provide a service, because this is the only way how we can do it.
Right. Yeah,
when we writing our proposals, you have to be confident in what you're saying. You have to do your research,
right?
Because let's say you go out there and you promote a business and you have no research on the demographic, you have no research on other services and
nothing to refute.
Competitors. Then now, like, you have no confidence. You don't know what to believe. So going through this process with our English instructors and getting your degree, it builds up your confidence so that when you are in your area of profession, you have the techniques to get it done.
And that's the reason not to give up.
Right.
And that's the reason why we need to be influenced and affected by the advocacy and initiatives for our own health, toxic stress, and not even just toxic stress period, and mental health. Because see, what I was learning today is that there really aren't there aren't that many partnerships between the medical health, like in the medical field, just like in any industry, they have subgenres. So just because people that's in the pediatric or physicians are interested in toxic stress because they're seeing, some of these doctors, like, they're coming across it from misdiagnosis, actually. A misdiagnosis or a mishap of a word actually alerted a physician to adverse childhood experiences through a woman who was getting tested for, different symptoms and things she was going through, and the doctor couldn't figure out what is wrong with this woman. So he's in there asking her every question that the medical society has taught him and trained him to ask. And he got to the question of how old were you when you were first sexually active? And she said 40 pounds. And he said, what? He had asked her how old she was. Well, either way it go, I believe he asked her how much she weighed. Whatever it was, he mishapped on what the question was, and she mentioned her weight, which obviously 40 pounds for the first time you're sexually active is
18 or something.
Right. So he ended up going on a sabbatical of research, gathering people, doing initiatives to figure out, what are these correlations of health and mental health. And the mental health and in the health of physician field, they haven't completely linked up to combat this because it has to be a partnership. So you were talking about, like, you pray and you believe, in different things. Do you think it has to be a partnership between what we do and, like, who we even do it with?
Yeah, and that's the point in researching, because when someone, like, let's say when you do your research, they'll say, this is the facts, this is what I found out of doing research, this is the problem. You're here to address a problem, and so someone, you address something that they never even seen before, like, it's like reinventing a new way or giving a new way. So you found information, you done your research, and you bring it to the board, and they'll say, I never saw it like that before. Okay, I'm going to invest $10 million to provide you funds to build up this facility to fulfill your vision.
Right.
And so, that's how you get investors. Or they'll say, I don't believe in that. That's not right. we already have everything we need. We don't need to invest in that type of services.
Right.
And so you just continue to do research and modify your thesis, or you just continue to keep going.
Right. And
I hope
how
I
do
answered
you keep
that
going?
question.
No, yeah,
I'll
you
keep
answered
going.
the question, and I'm asking questions.
How do you keep going mentally? Research, when you find treasure or when you find information, it gives you the motivation to continue.
Right.
You may go through it. You will go through a period of depression, but it won't stay there. Just keep going. The whole thing is keep going. Don't try to. Success is not based on your emotions,
right?
Or anything like that. So
it's so funny though, because we talked about a couple of things that I think are important to talk about, especially at the college setting. And when you a transitioning person, a transitioning adolescent into adulthood, you coming into grown people situations, and some of the values and things you grew up with are not the same. Like I'm encountering people who are into devil worship and Satanism. Well, I don't want to call it devil worship. They put a derogatory term on it. I don't want to judge nobody's religions or nothing, but obviously that person probably might not agree with the things that you're saying. But guess what? They probably still suffering from toxic stress as well. Some type of situations that cause them to even believe what they believe, or even say, for instance, like I can put it into like a context with the streets with young men joining gangs, or if you come into a college institution and you trying to find a club to join, or you trying to find a peer group to fit into, and you don't know, like, you might be into anime, or you might be into robotics, you know what I mean? But the type of people you might not fit with, or you might be into, the radio station or Pathfinders.
Yeah.
Like, we have choices, and like, how do you feel that stresses us out? How do you get over those choices? Like, how do you make decision-making processes, and how do you think choices affect, like...
choices that you make is always to fill the void. So what is the void? Being more intuitive in yourself, and really, being more intuitive in yourself. So like when you come to college, what are you trying to do? What do you think that's on your heart to do?
When you come
and
to
life
college,
reveals that. Like what's on your heart to do?
What do you want to do instead of just coming?
Yeah, follow your passion, and then whatever is exciting to you, whatever you actually enjoy doing, and whatever you enjoy doing, no matter what may comes your way, whatever gives you the determination, whatever gives you the correct perspective.
Even if it make you hungry?
Hungry as for it, or desiring the...
Well, no, I'm saying, like, every time just because we go get a job that we like doesn't mean it's gonna feed us. So what does this mean? Like, that stresses us out too. We're like, wait, I'm sitting here working a nice job, but it's not enough money.
You'll be experiencing a gift about yourself. So like, let's say you're in a job, not making much money, but there's something that is feeding you. So like, let's say you're writing, you start drawing art, that's a form way of releasing your stress.
Yeah, it is.
Writing in your journal, maybe mop a foot, whatever, it'll lead you to a higher calling, and it'll lead you to experience a gift in yourself. Like, you'll start painting. Let's say you didn't know that you was a painter, but out of nowhere you was working a crappy job and you discovered you had the ability to correlate colors in a way that you never could see them before.
Right.
And so
you say you get to coordinating them colors naturally. So basically it's a natural process.
Yes, it's a natural process that life will reveal them to you, and don't try to worry about it.
You ain't gotta force yourself.
Right, because
so what are your religious ways? What kind of ideologies and stuff do you have for people that worry? Like, is there a certain method? Oh, you said you pray. I heard you say you pray.
Yeah, but even with worrying, I would just just keep telling myself it's getting better. I'm one day closer to accomplishing my goals.
Right.
Setting your goals in increment. Setting your goals so that they are reachable. So let's just say you want something small as be realistic with yourself. And just say, I'm gonna try to get this assignment done on time, so that I don't have to worry about it later, or setting your goals small and that are reachable so that you can reward yourself, and then you'll start feeling good about yourself. So then when you start getting to bigger dreams, you'll start conquering them.
Like just getting up out the bed in the morning.
Yeah, I noticed. Yeah.
He said just getting out the bed. Hey, sometimes, man.
That's a fight too. It's a fight. But the fact that you're here today, the fact that you are still standing and you have breath in your body, you're gonna make it. It's another opportunity. Don't put so much pressure on yourself. And that's the whole thing about meditation. Meditation is releasing the toxic stress.
Yes.
And releasing anything that is trying to prohibit you from, doing what you designed to do. And any piece of
that's the thing.
Creation, nothing was ever created in a happy place. It was always created out of chaos and and stuff like that. So.
But you were saying like the place that we supposed to be, the person we supposed to be. When you come into college and you just fresh out of night, you 18, 19, some 17, some of these people still, living with their parents and going to high school, coming here, like, how are you supposed to know who you're supposed to be? Our parents, even if you got a 2-parent family household, that doesn't mean you got 2 parents. That means that you got 2 more people that's working hard, coming home tired, and they still need time to have their personal life and then have to, deal with you. I don't think as a generation, a lot of these, they're not having, they're not being trained. Mm-hmm. They're not being trained how to navigate through all those situations because we don't have that.
Right. The best thing is to
how do you know? So basically what I'm saying is our parents didn't have somebody that just molded them specifically in what they're good at. Like your parent might want to have been the guitar player and that's the natural ability they had, but in order to feed you, then they had you in high school, they had to work at McDonald's. Mm-hmm. So they worked there for 10 years and then stopped working there, went back to college at 40 years old and got a degree, and now they're not working as a phlebotomist. Mm-hmm. But still, you're looking at them and you're like, okay, well, they worked at McDonald's for 10 years and then was a phlebotomist. So I'm going to change careers, but how do I know who I am? Is who you are a career choice, or is that a spiritual choice? Like what? Because that's stressful to try to figure out who am I. Now he talking about who I am. Now I got to figure out who I am now.
Yeah, that is stressful. I think the best thing is to, faith is a gift, is to believe in. It's all about time and purpose, man. I think don't put so much pressure on yourself because, for anybody coming out of 18, just like, man, I don't know what I want to do. I remember when I was 19 years old, I cried, because...
I'm not trying to laugh at you, but he said he cried. It was hard, huh?
No, because I didn't know if I'll ever reach my destiny or if I'll ever reach this place of contentment.
Man.
And so from 19 to 26,
midlife crisis.
I had to walk through it. And that's the things that I have experienced has built me for this moment right now. So it's kind of like it's like God writing a research paper about you.
Yes, he is.
And he develops you in certain areas of your life to get you stronger mentally, physically, and spiritually for what you want to do. But just keep walking it out. You have to go through a season of isolation and alone to develop.
Yeah, God can't work on you with a lot of people around you.
Yeah, because everybody can't nobody have a fingerprint on you.
That's right.
Like I was told,
the doctors, when they perform surgery, ain't nobody allowed in there.
Right.
You got to have time where you're separated. And that's why, that's why I was asking the question, and the questions keep leading to other things, because when you're trying to figure out who you are, the first thing you need to recognize is you will exhaust yourself trying to be a specific person nowadays, instead of just being yourself and allowing yourself to know that whoever created you, whatever you believe in, the Big Bang, whatever the theories is, whatever we want to believe, ideologies, it all comes down to, if you wake up in the morning and you get dressed and go out there and hurt somebody, or you cuss somebody out, that you're doing something intensely to somebody else. And if we can wake up with good intentions for our day and change our perspective, like I was told, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. You know, a lot of the topics we talked about, like lightweight bullying, you know, the way people express fashion, culture, the culture at school, you know, how to get people to open up, vulnerability, you know, all of these topics that people don't realize are stressful things that we live every single day, and affects us. And like you said, working at every day, getting up and trying to work through it is key. But I also think that another thing is that we got to be able to identify when somebody else is going through that. And we really don't. Like,
and that's why we're here to encourage, you know, that's to you know, to build courage in, you know, each other and stuff like that. It's just like, yeah, I went through a period of depression and you know, thought my life was going to be over, but the fact that I'm still standing here and having this conversation with you is definitely a blessing.
Yes, sir.
You know, with us overcoming our obstacles, we still here.
Yeah,
you
we
know,
are.
and
there's a way for
God's
people to
gonna
get
the
that.
glory out of this. You know,
Yeah,
He's
he
gonna
is.
get the
I ain't do
glory.
nothing special.
Yeah, but how do you find yourself when you don't know where to go, or if you feel lost?
Yeah.
He knows how to access you. You know, he chose us. We didn't choose him.
Sure didn't. I would have been out there doing what I wanted to do, ladies. Nah, seriously, you right, man. I feel like we are chosen, man, and I feel like many are called and few are chosen, and I feel like, you know, to those much given, much is expected. And the reason I say that is because, you know, if you're sitting here and you're given inheritance, and you're entrusted with that inheritance to do something with it, and you just take that inheritance and hoard it, and then you go down later on the line to find out it's been robbed, somebody broke in, stole it while you was away, whatever the case may be. But you could take that same inheritance and invest it and make more. That's why I feel like us being fruitful now, while we still have a life on this earth, even though things will be difficult, like, we gotta know how to get through that. So if we all open up and be vulnerable and allow each other to share each other's stories and take bits and pieces, it's like brainstorming. You know, they need to have these type of classes where people brainstorm about their experiences, and we call them negative, but we always get positives out of these negatives. So we just take these life lessons and we really talk about them. And we talk about issues like body image issues. Because I had a body image issue and I ain't never been fat a day in my life. I don't think my metabolism has allowed me to gain what they consider obese, you know, if you're going by a BMI scale or whatever. But yeah, man, I thought I was fat. I'm sitting here looking at myself like, man, I need to try to lose some weight. Like, probably almost damaged something working out. And when you come across somebody else that's really suffering from an issue, that's when you like, oh shoot, I thought I was fat. This person over here wish they could be my size. If that makes any sense. But then on the other side of that, man, we gotta be careful what we jealous of, man. You looking at somebody like thinking they doing good, and that person really ready 2 steps away from blowing their head off.
Yeah. You know, I think it's you know, being bold about who you are. No matter if you feel like you have it all together, just know that it's coming. You know, the information, the wisdom, the peace is coming. And, you know, I'm not in this by myself. No matter my circumstances is trying to drown me, that I have a Savior who reached down their hand and pulled me out. You know, and it's just you know. Yeah.
It's just about the process of, like you said, encouraging yourself.
Yeah.
Because that's really what it was for me, man. I felt like even surrounded by 1,000 people coming to school, even being like, at times I was in whole relationships with people, going to school, plenty of so-called associates and friends, but I felt lonely. I wasn't calling those people, telling them how messed up slump I was in or how depressed I was and you know how anxious I am about school. And most of the times people don't even see it on you. So you walking around harboring messed up feelings. And I write poetry and songs, and I had wrote something, and I was just like, man, all the things you did to me all the things you did to me not gonna make me better. All the things you did to me gonna make me better. You know what I mean? You gotta make a decision. to look at it. And I think with my eyes, I opened up myself to compassion. I use the compassion component, and I believe that if somebody is trying to attack you, a situation is trying to attack you, even in situations that's out of human control, like I'll be feeling like, oh man, it's an energy that I can't get rid of. You know, I'm in a funk in my mind. And I just tell myself like, oh, the devil's so weak, he got to try to send these little weak little things to distract me and tempt me, you know what I mean? Or like even with schoolwork, I might get frustrated because I feel like the assignment is harder than I think it is. But then I take another look like, you know what? This is just a real professional professor, and they want to make sure I get the best education.
That's all. And that's all that it is. Yeah, he'll that's all that it is. It's just that they're not trying to be too hard on you. With this particular professor, you do have some people who try to, you know,
they will mess with you.
I will mess with you, but
they human. That's the thing. They human beings just like us. We all human.
Yeah.
But man, Matt, I appreciate you coming up here for the Wednesday Chop It Up. And it's always good to have you come down here and spit that old grown wise man wisdom, you feel me? And I hope that somebody was able to get something out of whatever it was that we talked about, you know, just having a basic discussion about life and not being too judgmental, man, because I know this one thing about us, don't nobody want to be judged. That's really all we worrying about. How somebody else looking at us. Look, you look good. If you feel good, you look good. You understand me? You got to start feeling good about yourself and tell yourself that you're beautiful. Tell yourself that you're the smartest out there. And if you're not the smartest, then, you know, you up there with the smartest. Like, so everything gonna work out. And y'all have a blessed weekend. And see you later on. Bye.
Nagra.